Copywriting in 2025 is not like copywriting in 2018. It's not even like copywriting in 2022. Everything has changed. The volume of writers, the expectation of clients, the way content is produced, the way people consume information, and most importantly, the level of competition is just fucking insane nowadays. So, in this video, I'm going to explain why I think copywriting is not the best business model to start in 2025 and 2026. I'll explain how you can use the skill of copywriting in a better way so that you can make more money working less time and with fewer clients. And I'm also going to explain how you can take advantage of the growing creator economy to make some huge profits for yourself. So let's get started. So let me start by saying this. The copywriting market is saturated as fuck right now. If you're a copywriter or you're trying to become one, you probably have already seen this. You have an army of 14-year-olds, Andrew Tate wannabes who have never written a single page of copy, claiming to be copywriters just because they paid a $50 subscription to the real world. And now they think they can, go write copy for the biggest brands out there. So you're competing with all these people who are just flooding the market. And what happens when there is more supply than there is demand? Well, according to very basic economic laws, if the supply is higher than demand, then usually prices go down. And that means that everyone earns less money. And even the top copywriters, people who have been in this space for years and have been doing copywriting for a living, their entire lives, they're having a hard time charging higher prices. So if the top copywriters who are way more skilled and experienced than you are having a hard time, making money for copywriting services, imagine how hard it will be for you, a complete beginner, to make a living off this business model. And if you're watching this video, maybe you haven't been doing copywriting for a long time. Maybe you're trying to sign your first few clients and maybe you're trying to make your first dollar online. I want you to imagine this scenario. So you're doing outreach. You're sending 40 to 50 DMs and emails every day. You do this for 30, 60, 90 days straight in a row. And after all those fucking messages, you finally sign your first client. You agree to write 5 emails for like $250. That's like $50 per email. So you're happy, as you should be. That's the first time you ever made money online. And before that, you didn't really believe it was possible. But now you've got proof of concept. So you think to yourself, if I actually put my effort into this, I can actually make 10K a month doing this. If I work really hard, I can actually make 10K a month. But then you're like, hold on, wait. I've reached out to over 100 people in the DMs just to make $250. If I want to make 10K a month, I would have to sign 39 more clients at a $250 a month retainer. And suddenly all your happiness just vanishes and you realize that this is not sustainable in the long term. And I know I've made a very, very extreme example here. You can probably sign clients who pay you, $1,000 or maybe $1,500 a month. But still, you would have to sign like 9, 10 clients to make 10K a month. And that's a lot of work. And, that's assuming that your clients never leave you and they never churn, which is basically impossible because sooner or later they're going to leave you and you're going to have to find new clients. So it's a hamster wheel. You're constantly chasing new clients. So I'm just saying this to say that copywriting as a business model is not sustainable in the long run. But learning the skill of copywriting is actually one of the best decisions you ever made. You just don't know how to use it in the most effective way possible. So I'm not making this video to shit on copywriting. I think copywriting is great. The goal of this video is to show you that the market has evolved and to show you that there are better ways that you can monetize this incredibly valuable skill. And the only people who are going to survive in 2026 are the ones who understand that the job is no longer to just write words, but to do something bigger and more, far more profitable. So here's what I want you to understand. Copywriting itself is not the issue. If anything, the ability to write persuasive messages is more important today than it was like 5 or 10 years ago. And so the problem is in the skill. The problem is how most people use the skill. So this is what most of the gurus tell you to do online. They tell you to go to businesses and offer to write emails or ads or a landing page or something like that. And they tell you to charge thousands of dollars just for that. And I'm not saying that that's not possible. A lot of people do it, but Some people have done it, but it's not realistic for the majority of beginners. And the problem is that when you just sell words like that, you're just selling words. When you say to a business owner, I can write emails or ads, they think they're just paying for words, like the actual words that you write. They don't see all the effort that goes into it. They don't see the market research, the psychology, the positioning, the structuring of the message, the strategy behind, why the copy is written the way that it is. They only see the final result without understanding all the effort it takes to write that email or that landing page or whatever. That's why so many copywriters feel underpaid. It's not because they're bad at writing, it's because the way the service is packaged, forces clients to see it as something very simple and easy to replace. And when they think what you provide is not that valuable, they're not going to pay a lot of money for it. Because, unfortunately, as I said in the beginning, there are so many people who try to pitch copywriting services nowadays that business owners will always think they can find someone who's going to do it for less money. And they, can still do a pretty decent job. And unfortunately, that's true. And there's always going to be some kid in a third world country who can do the same job as you for much less money. And the other problem is that this business model doesn't build on itself. You write something, you deliver it, you get paid, and then you start again from zero all the time. Like there's no momentum, there's no compounding effect. You're basically doing one-off tasks forever, and the moment you stop working, the income stops. This is why you see copywriters, grinding all day, sending out outreach messages, trying to land clients, constantly worried about next month. And it's not because they're doing anything wrong. It's because they're stuck in a model that gives them almost no leverage. The entire thing depends on how many hours they can physically sit down and write, and that's not sustainable in the long term. I mean, unless you're very passionate about writing, you love writing, and you want to spend all day, writing stuff, I guess, then, go ahead and do that, keep doing that. But, for me, at least for example, when I was doing copywriting, yeah, I did make a decent amount of money, but I knew it wasn't sustainable in the long term. I didn't want to spend every day of my life reaching out to people and constantly chasing new clients. And when I started this online business journey, my goal was to have freedom. Like my goal was to make money without having to work all day. So I would have the time to do the things that I actually want to do, and I would have more freedom. So I could spend time, I don't know, at the gym or working out or spending time with my family and friends, doing all that stuff. And so I knew I had to find a different business model that gave me more leverage. And that's exactly what I did. I took the skill of copywriting and combined it with all the other skills that I stacked up during all those years when I tried all those these business models, and I failed at all of them. But when I was failing, I wasn't actually failing. I was learning new skills. And I put all those skills together and created a new offer that gave me a lot more leverage and the ability to make $98,000 in a single month from just one client. And overall, I've made over $500,000 in less than a year. And I want to show you this because I know it hurts. And it's hard always having to chase new clients and not getting paid enough. And I want you to know that there is a better way of doing things. So by now you understand that things are changing. You need to evolve with the market if you want to survive and build the life that you want. The life where you're financially independent and you can travel and take care of your family and loved ones. And when I understood that I couldn't keep doing what I was doing, I switched my offer and everything changed. I went from being completely broke, working a shitty job where I was literally breaking my back. I was loading and unloading trucks for 10 hours a day. And you can see some pictures of me here. Like I was doing this job, and man, this shit was tough. This shit was tough. Like, those big ass trucks that carry all these boxes. And I would spend 10 hours a day unloading these boxes, and sometimes the stuff inside would be pretty heavy. So imagine having to manually unload all these fucking boxes, heavy boxes, for 10 hours a day. Like I was actually breaking my back. So that's what I was doing. And it's just one of the many shitty jobs I had. I worked as a dishwasher, I worked as a waiter, I used to deliver food. I did a lot of shit. But now, thank God, things are completely different. I make over 50K a month working with just a couple clients, and I have a lot of free time that I can use to do whatever I want. And I went for the first time in Thailand with, this summer with my girlfriend, and we stayed at this beautiful hotel that had this amazing pool with amazing view of Bangkok. And I've been able to pay off my house and been able to treat my mother, who has done a lot for me. And honestly, I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for her. And I wanted to be as happy as possible. And I always knew that I'd make a lot of money one day and that I would be able to buy her all the things that she likes. And I promise you guys, there is no better feeling than being able to take care of your family. But this business model that I'm doing right now didn't just change things for me, it changed things for other people as well. I'm just going to show you a few testimonials of the clients, my students that helped sign their first creator and make money. First of all, I have a community with over 90 members. You cannot join right now, but I've helped a lot of people inside the community as well. And yeah, this is just some of the screenshots, some of the testimonials, just to show you what's possible. Like this guy, yo, just want to say thank you. I had a lot of doubts at first. I didn't think it was actually possible to make this work, but now I know exactly what I'm doing. And then he said the fact, I said what clicked, what helped, and I said, and he said the fact that you were always available to give me answers really changed everything. And this is just one. The other one, this guy signed a client, and his client made 100K in 30 days. And yeah, so he had like, I think 20% rev share. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, he made a lot of money with that client. And this other one signed his first client with a 25% rev share and $3,500,000 upfront for a setup fee. So this is just to show you what's possible. And as I said, I have a community with over 90 members inside, and I've helped a lot of people in there. So yeah, I want you to know that if this was possible for me and for others, it's possible for you too. You just need to change the way you present the offer. And instead of being just someone who write words for other businesses, you can be the one who's in charge of the entire marketing and backend operations. You can be the operator who helps creator make more money by building all the backend systems and taking care of all the operations. And this business model is known as growth operating. I like to call it AI info scaling. This is just my way of calling it. Everyone has a different name. There's IPGA, info operating, AI operating, whatever. You can call it whatever the fuck you want, but I call it AI info scaling because that's what we do. We help creators scale info products using AI. And you, as a copywriter, have a crazy advantage in this business model. Since you already understand how to write copy that sells, you can partner up with creators and help them scale an offer and take a percentage of the revenue. And let me explain why this business model is so much better than just doing copywriting. We all know that selling info is extremely profitable nowadays in 2025, and it's going to be for the next few years. Like, there's no denying that. And we all know that the creator economy is growing like crazy. So there are so many creators these days that the demand for people who can actually build the entire backend is much higher than the supply. There's not enough people who know how to do this stuff. And that's why right now is actually the best time to start this business model, because there are not many people who can do this. And all you have to do is just find a creator who makes content about solving a specific problem, partner up with them, and create all the marketing assets and take care of all the backend systems. You build a landing page, you write VSL, you write the email sequences, and you build all the automations, you connect all the things together, and you build an actual system that helps that creator make a lot of money. That's why it's so fucking valuable. And I know it sounds like a lot of work, but in reality, it's not, because nowadays we have AI. And AI can help us speed up the process like by 70-80%. And I'm not saying that AI can do like everything for you. Like, it's not perfect. Yes, you have to go in and change a few things, but it's much different than what it used to be a couple years ago, because AI was pretty bad, but now it's actually pretty good. So you can, if you give if you give AI the right frameworks and the right prompts, you can actually get a pretty good draft of, for example, a VSL, and it can write a VSL for you. And all you have to do is just change and edit a few things. And, it's much easier. It's much more beginner friendly. It's not a get rich quick scheme. You still have to do some work, but just AI makes it a lot easier and a lot faster. And the best thing is that you get paid like a partner and not like a freelancer. Let's say you sign a creator and you help him scale an offer to just 50K a month, which is not that much money in the info space. And you have a 25% rev share. You take 25% of the revenue you help generate. That's like $1,205. No, wait, that's $12,500 that you made with just one client. And that's why I say this is the best business model of 2025. Like, you don't need 10 clients to make 10K a month. You can work with 2 or 3 clients and make 50, 60K a month, even more. And you only need one good client, one good creator to change your life, like to change your life forever. Yeah. So it's really the best time to start doing this. A lot of people are catching up. So pretty soon it's going to be pretty saturated. So, but right now it's still a good time to learn these skills and learn how to do this. So if you want me to help you sign and scale your first creator and make your first 10K a month guaranteed, you can apply for my one-on-one mentorship. This is actually one-on-one. This is not a bullshit course videos. This is actually me and you working, and I'll help you sign and scale your first creator guaranteed. And you get my phone number and everything, all my systems, all my automations, all my templates, everything I got that I use to scale creators past 100K a month. I'm going to give it to you. But if you're not ready for that, you want to learn more about this business model, I've made a full free 5-hour course, and it's on my YouTube channel. You're gonna find the link in the first link in the description of this video, and I explain everything from A to Z on how to start, sign your first client, how to build automations, how to do everything in this business model, so we can learn for free. And yeah, but that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.